On this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my exact real estate photography workflow. This is the same workflow that we've taught to all of our photographers for really the last 7 years and is responsible for literally tens of thousands of real estate shoots. And I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. So we're going to talk about our interactions with the sellers, how we actually shoot, a little bit about composition and settings, but more so the workflow. So you can see that it really isn't that hard to be a real estate photographer and hopefully use what I teach you in this video immediately in your business. Or maybe it'll give you the confidence to start a business of your own, because I think anybody can be a real estate photographer. So this is actually my personal house, so I'm going to have to talk to you about the seller side of things, but I'm going to show you everything else from start to finish, including sending it to our editors and just anything I think of along the way. And it should be a good video full of a lot of value. So the first thing I'll say is we're in the service business. So as a real estate photographer, I think where a lot of people go wrong is they think that the photos they deliver in the videos or whatever else it is like the majority of why people hire them. And that's kind of true. But I would argue that at least 50% of the battle is the service you provide to your clients, because we're in the service industry, right? And so it starts with how we introduce ourselves to sellers of the home. The thing you'll learn is that the friendlier you are with your agents and then their sellers is the more your agent will trust you. First of all, they'll like you better and they'll refer you more, but they'll also start to trust you more, meaning they don't show up to the shoot if they trust you. And if an agent doesn't show up to the shoot, you can get it done so much faster. Jared, who's filming this video, is fully agreeing with that, because it's the best thing ever when nobody shows up. So always introduce yourself nicely, spend some time building rapport with the sellers and especially with your client. Make them feel comfortable. This is probably your 150th time shooting a house, but it's probably their first time having a photographer in to their house, which is usually their private area. So be accommodating, be respectful, build a relationship with them as much as you can, and let's get the gear out and start shooting. Now, as far as the gear that I'm using for this shoot goes, this is the kit. You'll see linked below our full equipment kit. This is the gear that our employees use kit. There's also a budget kit. So if you're just getting started, absolutely do not wait to get started until you can afford this gear. Start with what you have. You'll see some stuff in the budget kit, but if you have any camera really will work as long as you have a wide enough lens. Start with that. Let your clients pay for your upgrades. As far as what I'm actually using goes, this is the EOS RP. The majority of our photographers use that, but we also have the the R floating around for video. It's just a little bit better video camera. We're using the Canon 16-35 f4. Don't waste your money on a 2.8 for real estate. We have an adapter to, have the correct mount type there. We're shooting with the Benro geared head. This saves so much time once you start shooting more real estate. Like if you're shooting 2-3 properties a day, you definitely want to have something like this. It allows you to dial in your verticals quickly, as I'll show you. And then we have slick tripod legs. So that's the gear setup I'm using today. But again, whatever you have, roll with that. Let's go inside and start shooting. So we're inside, and before we even touch the camera, obviously we've talked to the sellers, we're gonna go around and prepare the house. So we start with turning all the lights on in the property and just straighten things up. You'll know after a while of being a real estate photographer that some houses, especially with more colored walls, look better with the lights off. But if you do that to try to get better white balance, your client every single time will call you and be like, hey, why are the lights off? Real estate agents just want the lights on, so don't shoot with the lights off. Go around, turn on every light unless it really is a nasty color cast, and straighten things up. So obviously in this house, there's a lot of lights. That's kind of a long part sometimes, but sometimes some of the things that we do to separate ourselves are things that you wouldn't normally think of being your job as a real estate photographer. So there's some real estate photographers that want all the lights on when they get there. Sure, I'll take that, but I'll also, I'm perfectly happy to turn on the lights. Straightening things. We always spend 10 to 15 minutes cleaning it. There's times when we didn't have a shoot the rest of the day, or we had a big gap where I've spent an hour cleaning. Is that my job? No, but it helps my clients know that I've always got them covered, and it really has done wonders for my business. We've grown a big business, much bigger than the other photographers who think it's not their job. So get used to thinking things that are not your job are actually your job, and you will have a better business. I'm going to straighten stuff like pillows. You'll find these are pretty much always knocked over, and I keep my house pretty clean, but usually you have to spend more time than this. So I'll walk around and turn on all the lights. We have most of them on now, so I'm going to start shooting. Looks like there's some up here that are off. Cool. So we're going to start out here, and one tip, one more thing that I forgot that's always good is make sure the countertops are clean. So stuff like this, you can just hide that in the sink. There's a menu right here. I'm going to put that up. Now the house is pretty good. Those are little things that spending that time to take them out of the photos will make your clients like the photos a lot more and save you from doing edit requests, which take a lot longer than moving something. So if you're in doubt, move it in person. Next thing we're going to do is actually get the camera up to start shooting. Now, if the sellers were here, one of the biggest tricks that you can do to make it so much faster is once you introduce yourself and you're ready to shoot, say, all right, guys, I'm ready to shoot. If you could go to that side of the house in one of the bedrooms over there, I'm going to start on this side and work my way back, and we'll switch positions. If you do that, you will save so much time, because what sellers will do is they'll be like here in your shot, And they'll be like, hey, am I in your shot? Yes, you're in the shot. It's a wide angle lens, but they don't know that. And so one of the best things you can do is just have that confidence to tell them, go down there. I'm going to start on this side. And you kind of, when you get down there, you switch with them. And the thing is, if they're in the room like this, you're going to be shooting all these other rooms and you're going to see them through the door and you're going to have to be like, can you move a little bit to the left? Don't do that. It's horrible. It takes a long time. So move them somewhere. This is your shoot. So you want to be respectful to them and make sure you're accommodating, but also they want to know what to do. They don't want to be in your shot either, so tell them what you want them to do. Usually if the agent's there, they'll go down there with them and talk to them. So that being said, we're going to get the camera set up. I have linked below a workshop that's an hour long that goes into the exact settings. So I'm not going to recap all those for this video. But what you should know is that we're shooting 3 brackets. So what you'll see here, these are 3 brackets that we shot from this shoot. You can see there's an overexposed, a middle exposure, and an underexposed photo. We then take those photos and have them blended in Photoshop to a final photo like you can see here. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to get all my camera settings set up. Over here, turn on bracketing. Again, watch that workshop link in the bio if you want to learn that. And we're going to start shooting. Make sure I'm zoomed all the way out. For real estate, you most of the time want to shoot 16. And I'm going to work through this house. So I'm going to start with some farther away shots of the living room. One more thing before I get started, actually, tripod height. You want this to be about light switch level. So waist level is about right, light switch is however you want it. You just don't want to be, what a lot of photographers do wrong, when they first start is they bring this way up here, or they don't even shoot with a tripod, but either way, they bring it way up to eye level, and then they shoot down into the room. So anyway, that looks like this, right? So you can see the verticals are not good. It kind of makes this V shape. What you want is the verticals to be like this. See how that looks a lot better? You have nice straight lines, and so that's what this geared head helps us do. There's no more V-shaped verticals, it's just perfectly straight. So I'm going to drop this tripod and start shooting. I'm going to shoot some that are farther away from the room and then shoot into the room. But I'm going to go ahead and do this in real time just to show you that this doesn't have to take very long. And you'll see the photos here in a second. And I'll do a mixture of like straight on shots, as you can see this one is, and then some that are more like diagonal and angled into the room. So there's those brackets. There's the bright photo, dark photo, middle exposure. I just kind of work my way around the room. And you can see this really isn't a long process. Like a lot of people think you need to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in a shoot. In a house like this is about a 4,000 square foot house. It's probably going to take me at the max 30 minutes. I mean, maybe not including the prep time, but if I took longer than 30 minutes shooting, I've been way too careful with it. It's just not going to give me any results. So shot the living room. I'm going to turn around here. The dining room. Get over here and get another angle. For this one, what I'm going to do is raise the tripod a little bit so I'm not seeing a bunch of this table. The goal here is to show the space itself, but obviously how it connects with the house. So there's those 3 photos. Grab another one here that shows the whole room. In kitchen photos, the rule of thumb is you want the tripod. This is really the only room you move the tripod height, and you want it high enough so that you're not seeing the underside of the cabinet. So you don't want to be looking up at the under the cabinet. You want to be like level, so you just see them like this. So about this height is good in this kitchen. Oh shoot, messed that one up. Actually got it good in the end though. And again, same concept. I'm kind of moving between straight and horizontal angles or diagonal angles. And last one I'm going to grab is this way, showing the whole great room here. I'm going to go over here and grab this small bathroom. Ooh, front door shot, never forget that one. Or front entry rather, don't just shoot the door. I'm going to get one more front door shot that kind of shows where the front door enters into the house. in this small bathroom. Sometimes with small bathrooms like this, you want to incorporate the rest of the house into the shot. So I could go in here and shoot the bathroom, but I could also, I'm going to drop my tripod back, I could get a shot that shows how the bathroom connects to the house. So I'm going to do both of those. That way, if this is a real shoot, the agent could pick. Now, when you're shooting bathrooms, you always want to make sure the toilet's closed. So turn on the light here, make sure the toilet's closed, and I can get a shot like this. This bathroom has a window view in it, so I think it's worth shooting like this, but sometimes you get a really small one, you just want to show how it incorporated into the space. So we got that. And go over here. And we would normally shoot all these little bedrooms and bathrooms. I'm just going to show you one set. That way this video isn't years long, but I'm going to get the pool table room here. I moved my camera height up just a little bit so I can see kind of the felt on the pool table. And you can see that even with talking you through this process, it's not taking me very long. So turning on the lights over here as I go because I haven't turned these on yet. Open the door that connects to the bathroom. See if this lamp works. It does. This room is ready to go. And with rooms like this, you always want to catch 3 walls, not just 2. So you'll see in this photo when I take it, you can see the wall with the window, the wall with the dog pictures, and the wall with the bathroom door. Done in here, really only need 1 photo of a room like this. Toilet seat down, roll up the toilet paper. You can see I'm just being careful to catch what I want. And obviously there's some towels here. I'd move these if I was shooting this way, but I want to see through to the shower. So I'm actually just going to get this shot in here. Cool, there's that photo. And that's basically all we do for the inside. I always start with the inside first because if I walk around outside and I step on something, I don't want to track it in the house. So I usually start with inside, gives me a chance to get to know the sellers, and then I move to the outside. So we'll meet you out front. Alrighty, so we're outside. We have our camera set up for outside, which is literally just changing the white balance to sunny, but you'll see that in the workshop link below. So watch that after this video. And I'm gonna start taking photos. We're at the front of the property. So I'm gonna take some wide up shots, get closer to the house as I move in, just taking a bunch of photos. You don't need to overshoot here. We don't need 25 outside, but somewhere in the range of 12 to 15 will be perfect for a house like this. Okay. Then I'll get some shots where I step off kind of to show the landscaping. There's a good angle here. One shot that's always important to get is a front elevation shot. So this is going to be a shot where I'm basically straight on with the front door, or the front elevation. It's an architectural term for how they draw the front. So I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit on this one. Actually, in this case, it doesn't look that good here, so I'm going to use some of these bushes. It's kind of like a foreground thing. There's too much driveway otherwise. There's that shot. I'm going to get a shot kind of really wide that shows basically the entire property from this side. And obviously, this is a real shoot. You'd want to move those trash cans in that car, but I'm just going to roll with it for now. Actually, I don't really like this shot. I'm going to go over here. Cool. And we're going to get some a little closer. There's some like landscaping and stuff over here, so I'll grab one over here. Cool, that's what we're gonna get in the front, so I'll meet you in the back. Alrighty, so in the backyard, we're gonna start on this porch. It's the same thing as the front, nothing really complicated. Now you can shoot exterior shots handheld. I just like to use the tripod because it makes for better angles. You can be more careful with it, but in places like this, you can fold up your legs, or you can even go handheld. Just make sure to stay still. Ready. It's good for up here. Again, we only need to get like 8 or so shots back here at the most. This is a bigger property, so it's taking us longer to shoot, but you can see how if this was like a simple house with just a normal backyard, no pool, it'd be like very easy and very quick to shoot. This is a good shot because it shows the view and everything. I try to maximize the amount of like hero shots, the really good ones we get back here. So cool. I'm gonna grab a shot of this little game area and the water tank here. Okay. Watch a cactus. Oh. Alrighty, that's all we need for the outside. I'm going to meet you back in the office where I'm going to show you how we send those photos to our editor and then how we deliver them to the client once they're back from the editor. Alright guys, so at the end of the shoot, or at the end of the day really, we upload all of the photos from the SD card to the computer, send them to our editor, literally just the raw photos, and then the next day we get them back ready to go. We upload them in our system here, go over to site summary and hit delivery, and that is all we do to send the photos to our client. So it's a really easy back-end process. There's not a lot of time involved. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that real estate photographers make is they spend a ton of time editing and a ton of time going back to the photos, even if they did hire an editor. None of that is worth it. You got to get them delivered and move on to the next one. And that is my complete real estate photography workflow. If you want to learn more about this or become a real estate photographer yourself, I highly encourage you to check out my workshop linked below. It's an hour long, it's value packed, and you're going to learn a ton. So go watch that. And it's going to teach you the most important thing, which is getting clients. That's all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.